So this question tests your knowledge of the order of adjective. Okay, so I'm giving you 5 seconds to give me an answer, and if you need more time, you can pause this video. Okay. Okay, so when solving questions under the order of adjective, we usually reference OSAS-COMP, which is an acronym. Okay, so O stands for opinion, for example, beautiful, interesting. S stands for size, for example, tall, short. A stands for age, for example, old, new, ancient. S, which is the second S, stands for shape, oval, round. Okay, next is C, which stands for color, white, black, blue, right? Next is O, which stands for origin, for example, French, Chinese, Nigerian. Next is M, which stands for material, for example, wooden, plastic. Okay, and finally we have P, which stands for what? Purpose, for example, running, as in running shoes, sleeping bags. Okay, so running tells us the purpose of the shoes, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go back to the question. So the next thing we need to do is categorize each word. Okay, so starting with white, right? White falls on that color, right? Good. Beautiful falls on that opinion. Okay, but opinion comes first, so we should have beautiful before white. Good. Now next is exceedingly. Now exceedingly is an adverb, it's not an adjective, so it doesn't fall under the OSAS-COMP because the OSAS-COMP is the order of adjective, right? Good. So because exceedingly is an adverb, and don't forget the function of an adverb, it modifies a verb, an adjective, or other adverbs. Okay, so in this case it is modifying the adjective beautiful because beautiful is number 1, right? So it has to come first. So with this we can easily eliminate option A, D, and E, and we're left with B and C. Okay, but let's take a look at flowing. Flowing is under what? Purpose, and then we close it up with the noun gowns. Okay, so exceedingly first, beautiful next, white, flowing, and finally gown. So final answer to this question is option C. So this question tests your knowledge of phrasal verbs. Okay, so take a shot in 5 seconds. Let me know what your answer is. Okay, so your time's up, right? The commission was set up to inquire the general conditions of child abuse in such institution. Okay, I remember a student asking, oh, what's the difference between ENQUIRE and INQUIRE? Okay, yeah, similar in meaning and pronunciation. Okay, so I don't want to hear you say N, it is in. Okay, inquire. Okay, so the difference is in the spelling, obviously, and just a regional preference thing. Okay, so in British English we use EN and Americans use IN basically. Okay, so let's go back to the question. For inquire, we can use 3 prepositions. Of, inquire of, which means to ask somebody something. For example, will you be going to church tomorrow? She inquired of me. Okay, good. We can have inquire after and then inquire into. So we can easily eliminate option A, B, and D. So what's the difference between inquire after and inquire into? When you inquire after, you're asking for more information about somebody. Okay, but when you inquire into, you're trying to find out more information about something. So it involves a situation. So you're trying to investigate. Okay, so let's read the sentence and understand what is going on if it involves a person or a situation. Okay, so the commissioner was set up to inquire the general condition of. So you are what? Trying to find out about the general condition, it's a situation of child abuse in such institution. Okay, so final answer to this question is option E, into. So this question tests your knowledge of the arrangement of tense. Okay, so take a shot, let me know what your answer is. Okay, so the very moment she dashed her folly, she will come back to apologize. Okay, so the main clause here is she will come back to apologize, and this is what? Future tense. Okay, will come, future tense. Good. So to complete this entire sentence, we need to fill up the blank with present tense, simple present tense. Okay, so option A is realized, and that is past tense. Option B is realizing, present continuous. Option C will realize, future tense, right? Option D as realized, present perfect. And finally option E, realizes, and this is the simple present tense, right, that we are looking for. So realizes is the answer. The very moment she realizes her folly, she will come back to apologize. Option E is your final answer. So this question tests your knowledge of tense, but this is a sneaky question, so you need to be very careful. I'll be giving you 7 seconds to answer this question, but if you need more time, you can pause this video. Okay, so your time is up. Now you need 2 things to answer this question. 1, you need to understand the use of it is time, or it is high time, or it is about time. And when you are using phrases like this, you need to use the simple past tense. And the second thing you need is reported speech. Okay, you need to understand reported speech and how it works. So let's go back to the first one. It is time, it is about time, it is high time. So when you're using these phrases, you need to use the simple past tense. Okay, don't forget. Now, this reminds me of one of my sessions with my students, right? We'll be talking about these phrases, and the question was, it is time we dash. I think I posted the question before, okay? It is time we dash, and the answer is went. And my student was surprised. And then he asked the question, so what will be the response now? I won't be surprised at this point if the response is let's went. And I just started laughing that no. I know that English is old. We need to respect its old age, but let's take it easy. The response is let's go. Okay. So you just need to use the past tense. Okay. So you need to also note that this statement is reported. Okay. This is a reported speech. So the direct speech is, it is time we did away with JAMB. It is time we did away with JAMB. The candidate said, the candidate suggested. Okay, so when you are changing this, is changes to was. The candidate suggested that it was time we did away with JAMB. Okay, good. So let's take a look at the options. Option A is time we do away with JAMB. This is present tense. It's a no-go area. Option B was time, good. We do away. Do away is present tense, so we can't select option B. Option C is time present tense. That's the problem. We did away is okay, right? Option D was time, good. We did away, good, perfect. So option D is the answer to this question. Option E as time present tense, no. We are done, no. Okay, so final answer to this question is what? Option D. This question tests how well you can spell. Now someone once said, oh, I know how to spell, but when I see the options, I'm usually confused. So I know you know how to spell until when you have to choose from multiple choice options, right? So take a shot at this in 5 seconds. Let me know what your answer is. Okay, so your time is up. Now you need to be careful of words with double letters. You need to know them and you need to know how to spell them correctly. Okay, so a word like accommodation has double C and double M. Okay, a word like cancellation has double L. A word like occurrence has double C, double R. A word like occasion has double C. A word like aggressive has double G. So you need to know them. Okay, so final answer to this question is what? Option E. Okay, so this question tests your knowledge of the use of prepositions, right? So take a shot at this. Let me know what your answer is in 5 seconds. Let's read the sentence. I've lived dash this street dash 10 years. So when we're talking about streets, we use on. The correct preposition is on. I know a lot of people use in, but this is not correct. Okay, it is on. Okay, my shop is on Summer Street, for example. Okay, so we can easily eliminate option A, B, and E, and we're left with C and D. Okay, so now what's the difference between for, on, from, or how do we use for and how do we use from? Now, for is used for the duration of time, to show the duration of time, right? From is used to talk about the starting point of something from 2023 to 2026, for example. The best answer to this question is option C. I've lived on this street for 10 years. Final answer to this question is definitely option C. This question tests your knowledge of word stress. So take a shot at this. Let me know what your answer is in 5 seconds. So words ending in EE, EER, ETTE, AIRE, the stress are usually on these letters, okay? So this word ends in AIRE. So the answer to this question is option A, concessionaire. Okay, we can have billionaire, millionaire. Okay, refugee, career, volunteer, cigarette. Okay, so the stress are usually on these letters, okay? So final answer to this question is option A.